Hello.
Hi, Mario.
Mario, that was quick, Mario. Thank you so much.
Shut up. Well,
Quit muting me, okay?
Ist doch ein
Okay.
Action.
So we're on Lamed Aleph, Amud Aleph, Eruvin 31. Marvin Lakoin Tor B'Truma Tor B'Kever. That we can, a Kohen can put his Eruv, even if it's Truma Tor, in a cemetery. And certainly Chulin. Hechi Ozil, how will he get there? B'Sheda Tevu Migdal. He'll be carried in a box. The Kevin, the Achsa, Itmala, but once he puts his hand out to get the food, he'll become Tomei. So it says, B'Shalo Huchshara. The food is dry. Food, in order to be Makabal Tuma, has to be moistened. We're talking about food that's dry. Oshi Nilosha B'mei Peros, or it was food that was kneaded with fruit juice, which is not one of the beverages that we will make shit hechsher Lakabal Tuma. Hechi Maisi Law. How is he going to get the food? He has to get it, but he has to reach it with a piece of wood, because otherwise, if it's not wood, it'll be makabel tuma, and the food will become tomei. They'll make him tomei. So how the wood also? How come ahil? It's any ohel hovering over a mace, even an item, will cause tumasoyel. Versus the maisi leachor, you use the back edge of it, which is not a tefach wide. It's got to be at least a tefach wide. So if all of this is correct, my time Rabban, why did the Rabbanan prohibit? Ksavri, Asr liknos bayis Israel. You cannot acquire your domicile with something that is Asr Bana. A kever is Asr Bana, and you're using the kever to place your food. So he allows you to use the kever. He's not benefiting. He's doing the mitzvah ve'eruv, and mitzvahs do not provide personal benefit. So therefore, he's not benefiting from an isra. El-Hadam of a mitzvah slav lenis nitru. So Rava, who holds, of course, that mitzvah lav lenis nitru lema kitanar l'shmaitze. So is there machlokes tanoim regarding this? No. Now, there's going to be a debate. Why did you put your Eruv down? Because you want to walk more than 2,000 amas in one direction. Now, what's the purpose? You could do it because you want to welcome your Rebbe, which is a mitzvah, or you could do it for a personal reason called a Dvar Rishus. So, according to the opinion that you can only lay an Eruv for a mitzvah, well, and kulam a mitzvah slav and everybody holds that there's no benefit from mitzvahs, and this is v'hacha b'haka miflagi. This is the point of the nakud of the machlokas. Mar savar ein ma'arvin el ledvar mitzvah. One opinion holds that you could only do an eruv for dvar mitzvah. Since mitzvah slav you're not benefiting from the kever. You haven't violated the principle of asur liknos bayis b'suriyano. But Mar savar ma'arvin fil dvar rishus. But another Tana holds you can do an eruv even for dvar rishus. Then it's not a dvar mitzvah. Then you'd have a problem in doing it in the kever because you're getting benefit from the kever. So lema kitanoy amar l'shmaitza. So has this been? No, Elohadam Rav Yosef ein marvin el dvar mitzvah. So Rav Yosef says everybody agrees that you only lay down an eruv for dvar mitzvah. So again, lema kitanoy amar l'shmaitza is the machlokes tanoim. Amar Rav Yosef kulam ein marvin el dvar mitzvah. Everybody holds that you cannot lay down an eruv to go 4,000 amis for a personal reason. It's always a ledvar mitzvah. And everybody holds kulam a mitzvah slav lenis nitnu. There's no benefit to a mitzvah. So what's the point of the machlokas? Mars over kiven the kanala eruv lo nichale demintera. He acquired this domicile, Ben Hashmoshois. That's it. Once it's been set up, Ben Hashmoshois, it doesn't have to be watched anymore. The purpose of laying down the eruv to be done. And he doesn't need it to be an area that's watched or that's protected. Rashi says, "Lo echmas in tirusa ad knias eruv umar savanichale demintera." Because no, maybe he still wants it to be a watched place. By being a watched place, by putting it in the kever, you're benefiting from it. So if you don't really care about it, it doesn't make a difference that you put it in the kever. If you care about it, you're benefiting from what the kever. You can't benefit from the kever. And maybe you do want it watched because you want to come back and eat it the next day. Mishnah. Ma'arvin b'dmai. Dmai is food that you bought from an Ama Aretz, where there was a suffix whether they gave Trumas and Maisrus. The din is you have to be mafresh Trumas and Maisrus. Again, misafik. That's Dmai. So the Mishnah says you can put an eruv with Dmai. Uva Meiser Rishon.
Sorry, one question. Can you be Somech on an Ama Haaretz? And if Ama Haaretz told you, yes, I gave Demai, can you be Somech on him?
No. Dmai is he's selling you a produce.
I understand, but if he
No,
says
he's
I
not
took
telling you
off the Meiser, he says that you know
No.
it's an Ama Haaretz.
If you know he's an Ama Aretz, you can't. You're not miming him, and you have to
Cannot
give
be
to him.
Somech on him.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
That's the whole concept. We treat it as Dmai, and Misafik, you have to give Trumas and Maisrus. Many of them gave. But Misafik, before eating it, you're required to give it. Now, there's a lot of leniency since it's only a suffix. We'll see what the leniencies are soon regarding Dmai. B'maiser Rishon Shenitla Trumasu. Right? The farmer has, in the first, second, fourth, and fifth year of the Shemitah cycle, he has to give Truma Gedola, which is 1/50th. Then he has to give Meiser Rishon, which is 1/10 to the Levi. Then he has to give another 10th for Meiser Sheni, which he owns. He has to bring it up to Yerushalayim. In the third and sixth year, the Meiser Sheni is instead Meiser Oni. So the Mishnah says, if there's Meiser Rishon that's been given to the Levi, that Truma has been given from it, right? Trumas Meiser. The Levi also has to give Trumas Meiser. So you can use that for a name. Uva Meiser Sheni v'hegdish niftu. Meiser Sheni has kedusha. If you don't, you have to take it to Yerushalayim and eat it there. If you don't want to take it, you have to be poided it. Once you're poided, you can eat it in Yerushalayim. Similarly, hegdish. Let's say a shlomim. You designate an animal to be a shlomim. You got a mum, so you can eat it, but you have to be poided. You have to pay an extra 20%, and then the kedusha goes on the money. The animal comes out l'chulin. You can eat the animal. So if you laid down your eruv with either Meiser Sheni or Hegdish that was redeemed, it's a good eruv. V'akohanim b'chala. If you gave chala to a kohen, it can be used for an eruv. Aval, what are the things that you can't use? Lo batevel, produce where none of the trumas and meisos have been given. Lo b'meiser rishon shelo nitla trumaso. The meiser rishon that was given to a Levi, he hasn't given to trumas meiser to the kohen yet from his meiser. You can't use the meiser rishon. Lo b'meiser sheni v'hegdish shelo niftu. You can't use meiser sheni and hegdish that have not been redeemed. You cannot use it for neighbor. So demai halachazile, how can you use demai for your eruv? You can't use it. You can't eat it. You can't eat it. It's osir b'achila until you give trumas and meisos from it. The Gemara answers, Migu di iboy mafkilul nichsev aviani v'chazule hashunami chazule. You can give demai to aniyim to eat. even though you haven't taken the Trumas and Meiser saw. So, a person's wealth status, it has to do, if I could, at any moment, I could be mafkir all of my assets. I could say, all my assets are hefker. I immediately become an ani. So since at any moment I could be mafkir, and therefore as an ani, I could eat the dmai, I could lay the eruv down as dmai as well. This nan, machilin es aniyim dmai, vesachsanya dmai. When the Roman legions came through the cities, and the people had to put them up, you could feed the achsanya dmai. Amar Ravuna Tanit Beis Shammai Oimrim Ein Machilin Saniyim Dmai. Beis Shammai disagrees. Ubeis Elohim Machilin Saniyim Dmai. V'Maiser Rishon Shenitla Trumas Pshita. So of course, you gave Maiser Rishon to the Levi. The Levi gave Trumas Maiser to the Kohen. Why shouldn't he use it? It's Pashut. Lo Tzricha Shekdimu Bashibolu. We're talking about a case. So out in the field, so the produce was out in the stalks. Then you harvest it and you put it in a mound. That's called the kri. So normally produce becomes chayiv in Trumas Meises once you put it in a kri. Out in the field when it's b'shibolim, so there the Levi came and took his Meiser Rishon first. You didn't give the truma to the kohen. He went ahead and took his Meiser Rishon and gave Trumas Meiser from that to a Kohen. The produce ended up the Kohen got gypped because the 1/50th is coming from a lesser amount. So, the Levi gave the Meiser, Trumas Meiser, but the Bailim didn't give the Truma Gedola on what the Levi took. If in fact the Levi did this, he shouldn't do it. But if he did it, the Truma Gdoila is potter. Shene'amar, v'harei moser imenu trumas Hashem, referring to the Meiser Rishon, Meiser and a Meiser. The Levi has to give Meiser from his Meiser. Meiser and a Meiser, Meiser, v'lo Truma Gdoila utrumas Meiser and a Meiser. So you might think that since there's Truma Gdoila missing, I can't use it for Eruv. No, I can use it. That's the Chiddush of the Mishnah. What if the Levi went ahead and you piled it up in a mound already, and he took his Meiser Rishon from there? Maybe it'll work too. Or Malay, Alecha Amar Kra Mikol Masrei Sechem Tarimu Es Kol Trumas Hashem. Okay, well, Umara Isa, why does the coin get cuffed if he took it by the Shibolim and he doesn't get cuffed? You give it to him when he took it by the Kri. The Gemara says because high idgin v'high loy idgin. Once he stacked up the produce in a mound, it's called dogon, and his chayvus on the truma is already there, and therefore you can't get rid of it. When it's in the field, it's not called dogon. So therefore, the Truma Gdola is potter. Then the Mishnah said, Meiser Sheni v'Hegdish sheniftu. The Meiser Sheni and Hegdish that was redeemed. Well, of course you could use it. Pshita. Why shouldn't I use it? I can eat it. Lo tzricha shenasin asaker v'lo nasin asachodesh. I said, to redeem Meiser Sheni or Hegdish, you have to pay a 20% fine. So here he only paid 100%, he didn't pay the 120. The food is not non-kosher if I didn't pay the 20%. You got to do it. If I don't do it, it's still I can still eat it. Then the Mishnah said, "Lo b'tevel." I cannot use produce that has not been taken trumas from Meisers. Of course, pshita, we can't eat it. Lo tzricha b'tevel tovu midrabbanan. What if I grew something in a flower pot, which is not connected to the ground, doesn't have a hole in it? So there, the truma and meiser is only rabbanan. So I might think that if I didn't give Trumas Maestros from this type of produce, that hydroponics, or from a flower pot that doesn't have a hole in it, maybe I could use for an Eruv. Kamash Balan, that I can't. Even the fact that it's Tevel Rabbanon prevents me from eating it. If the Levi is not given the truma that he's supposed to give to the coin from his meiser, you can't make an eruv. Pshita, of course. I might have thought that if I took his meiser rishon once it was piled up, I might have thought maybe you're allowed to do it. Like he answered, it's not called dogon, and the Truma Gdola is still owed. Since it's still owed, it's going to be usher to eat, and therefore you can't use it. The loba meiser sheni v'hegdish shaloi niftu. We said meiser sheni and hegdish that were not redeemed, you can't use. Well, of course you can't use it. Pshita lo tzricha shepadon v'lo padon kilchasim. You redeemed it, but you didn't do it perfectly. For example, meiser shepado al gabi asimon. When we used in Israel, when they used to use the tokens, the asimon for phone call, so it was just a metal slug. It didn't have a printed face on it. That's called an asimon. So let's say I had $1,000 of Meiser Sheni, and I was pointed on $1,200 of asimonim. So the pidyon would not be good, because Rachmana Amar v'tzarta kesef sheyesh alav tzura. It has to have like a mint. It has to be minted. Hegdish shechilo gabe karka. I said if you have a shlomin that has a mum, you're allowed to be pointed, but you have to be pointed on money. I can't be pointed on $1,200 worth of land. If I was pointed on land, Rachmana Amar v'nosana kesef become low. It's got to be kesef, not karka. Mishnah. Now, when I lay my eruv down, I can do it myself, or I could send a shaliach to do it. However, a deaf mute or mishigan or a minor, all of them do not have das, so the shlichus is not going to be good. Or the shaliach is someone who doesn't believe in eruv, like the kusim, who only believed in Torsha B'chsav, not Torsha B'al Peh. So in both of these cases, Eino Eruv, the Eruv is not good. However, Im Amar La'acher L'Kablo Mimenu, if you gave it to a child, but then you told an adult friend, take it from him and you be the Shaliach, Hareze Eruv, then the Eruv is good. Why not use a child? When you have an Eruv Chatzeros, multiple houses opening up into a chutzner, like an apartment building. So you can't carry from your apartment to the lobby unless you gather $1 from every person. You buy a loaf of bread, you put it in one of the rooms, and it's as if it becomes one house. There, when you're gathering the money, you can send a child to do it. How come there it works? Like kasha, kan be'eruv tchumim, kan be'eruv chatzeros. By eruv tchumim, you can do it. By eruv chatzeros, the mice of the cotton gathering the money didn't do anything. You're going to buy a loaf of bread and put it in a house. But here, by having the child put it down in the place of the Eruv, he has to be koinish shvisa. And a cotton cannot be koinish shvisa, says Rashi. The Kusim did not believe in Eruvin. However, if you gave it to a child, and you told a third party to come and take it from him, maybe the child won't bring it to the shaliach. No, you have to see it happen. If you can monitor it, then you know it happened, then it works. Maybe the third party didn't take it from the cotton. Or maybe the shaliach didn't put it down. So the din is, no, a shaliach will fulfill his shlichus. Where do we learn this concept of a shliach will make his shlichus? So, the Tanya. You gave an Eruv on an elephant, and he walked, or you gave it to a monkey. So ein ze Eruv. The Eruv is not good. Rashi says sometimes elephants or monkeys are trained. Pamim shehem melumadim. You can teach an elephant and a monkey, but you need das to be koineh. So it's ein ze Eruv. But if you told a third party, take it from the elephant and put it down as the Eruv, then it works. Maybe he didn't put it down. You see him. Maybe he won't put it down. The presumption is the shaliach will carry out his shlichus. Now, when it comes to Torah law, we cannot rely on that presumption that a shliach will carry, unless we actually saw it ourselves. We're not soymech that the shliach carried out. But rabbinic law, but Rav Sheish is going to say echad zeh v'echad zeh. We're going to get into a very nice sugya here of shlichus a little bit.